everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name is Imogen and in today's video I am sharing how I plan a week and I'm going to give some templates at the end of the video, so stick around for that. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the principles for a successful and productive week. Everything you need to know. Firstly, any successful week has three main types of time. These are work time, playtime or leisure time, and rest time. You have 168 hours in any week, which is objectively a lot. If you haven't already read it, I suggest you read 168 Hours, which is a book by Laura Vanderkam, who is an expert on time management. This book changed my life. It's actually in my Books Which Changed My Life video, so if you're interested, go check that one out. But you need to split up these 168 hours in between these three types of time, okay? And divide these three types of time then into more specific blocks of time for specific tasks. And we're going to define those later in the video. So it's a similar principle to saving, okay? Instead of giving every pound or dollar a job, you're giving every hour a job. Sometimes that job will be to write X number of words for a project, or sometimes that job will be to literally sleep. But you need to have a plan for what to do all of the time, otherwise you're at risk of wasting time and feeling aimless, and we don't want that, do we? So, when it's time to relax, you will feel secure in the knowledge that you can chill and everything will get done. Those are the principles for a successful and productive week. Now, here is what you're going to do, okay? Number one, you are going to brain dump. So write down everything that you can think of. It doesn't need to be a perfect goal, just get it down on paper. You can refine it later, we will be refining it later in this video, okay? It can be really vague at this stage. You might be like, oh, I have to write X number of words for this project, or it could be like, I have a project and I don't know what to do for it, but I have this project, okay? And then there's a deadline, right? So it doesn't have to be super, super specific, we'll do that later, but just turn all of the stuff in your brain into something tangible on paper or in a Google Doc. I actually prefer to do it digitally, but whatever way works for you, okay? Number two, you need to sort this brain dump into actual categories, okay? If it helps you, and you can already think of categories, you can write categories in the brain dump. I usually do this myself because I already have some pre-made categories in my brain, but you don't need to do that. So if you don't have categories in your brain dump, create them at this stage. So examples of categories can include uni, if you go to uni, job, if you have a job, life admin, this is very important. I will talk about specific things that go in categories in a minute. Volunteering, leisure time, and any other big category of things that you want to work on in your life. So obviously this will vary between people, but those are some categories that I feel are quite common across people. So let's talk a little bit about what each category means, okay? So uni might be things like lectures, workshops, seminars, tutorials, assignments, okay? Everything that's contributing towards your degree if you're doing a degree. I am doing a degree, so obviously I would talk about that. Number two, job. Most people have a job, so that might be meetings, projects, deadlines, anything you do at work. Life admin, this is a really important category, and it's things that are not directly related to your job, but you still have to do to keep your life functioning, okay? Get a haircut, book essential travel, get your bike fixed, book a dentist appointment, all of those things go in life admin, okay? Anything you need to do in order to keep your life on track. This is super boring, but you do have to schedule it because otherwise it's not going to get done, and then your teeth hurt and your hair is grown way too long and your bike isn't fixed, okay? So life admin is super important. Right, volunteering is any volunteering or unpaid work experience. So this could be an unpaid internship, or it could be volunteering at a soup kitchen, or whatever kind of volunteering you do, community garden work, that kind of stuff, okay? Then also leisure time is a kind of a separate category because volunteering is kind of work and leisure time is just you doing whatever you want to do. So that could be socialising, going to the movies, journaling, going to gigs, anything else you like to do in your free time. I don't know what your hobbies are, but whatever they are, insert hobby here. Right, so you've got categories, okay? The next step is now to be really specific about your targets. You had goals brain dumped earlier, but they were kind of vague, okay? So here is where we get specific. You're going to need to include deadlines. So use the SMART framework. I made a whole video on that, so go check out the how to set SMART goals video, but basically they are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, okay? If you don't know about the SMART framework, again, go check that video out, but you need to define your goals more specifically and include information on when the goal is due. So even though it's not technically due for a while, this is a really good opportunity to set personal deadlines. So for example, if you need to write a report, you could have the goal, have 1,000 words written on the results and methods of the report by 5 PM on Friday, okay? So you know exactly what you have to do, how much you need to do, and by when. Right, the next thing that you're going to do in this process is estimate how long each goal is going to take. You have a list now of all the things you need to do. They are very specific. Now estimate how much time you need to do each of them. So this doesn't have to be perfect, but you should know whether a goal is going to take 10 minutes, 2 hours, or 20 hours, okay? So write the amount of time in brackets next to the goal. So going back to our example from just a little bit earlier, you could say, I have 1,000 words written on the results and methods by 5 p.m. on Friday, and then next to it you say 2 hours, okay? Because you think that's going to take 2 hours, or it might take longer, or it might take less time. I don't know how efficient you are with writing words. Okay. Right, after you've got all of these specific categories and goals and you know how long each goal is going to take, now you need to put it in your calendar, okay? And I'm going to give some example templates of calendars at the end of the video. I'll talk you through them, so stick around for that. But here are some things to consider when putting goals in your calendar, okay? So firstly, when do you work best? So I work well in the mornings. I tend to schedule tasks early in the day and then relaxing for later in the day. Okay, so if you need an hour of easy tasks to get you started, schedule that first. If you prefer to start with a big project, schedule that first. Again, very individual, but by this point in the video, you should probably have a feel for what task you need to schedule when. Right, schedule the longer and more urgent tasks earlier in the week. Try and front load the work, if that makes sense. So don't leave everything till Friday afternoon, because that is literally a recipe for stress and you will start crying. And I do not want you to start crying over your goals, because that is not fun. Okay, also consider what do you want to do with your weekends? Okay, so I recommend you take at least one day during the week to recharge, because, you know, you're working really hard and you deserve a break, and you need a break so you don't get burned out. That probably will be a weekend for most people. Some people maybe it won't be, but probably for most people it will be a day on the weekend. So don't forget to schedule rest time and time to like do nothing or do whatever you want. So having some wriggle room makes this routine sustainable. When you're giving every hour a job, you don't want to feel constrained. You want to have some scheduled time to unwind. Okay, right, I am now going to show you 2 examples of calendars, and we're going to play spot the difference, but I'm basically going to walk you through what I have done. So let's look at a worked example. Right, so here's an example of quite a typical week. You can see I've planned lectures in and some breaks and some rest, but it's really not exciting, so let's go ahead and spice it up a little bit. Okay, so this is much more like it. As you can see, I've got lectures and associated reading in green. I've got my own independent work in pink, sleep in lavender colour, volunteering and admin in blue, social activities in purple, and rest, breaks and chill time in yellow. So I find it really helps to colour code. And also, as you can see, I've given every hour a job, and I've put more details in the description of the event. There'll be also, you can click on the event and put more notes and details in it, which I haven't actually displayed because I was trying to give you an overview. But as you can see, you get a nice sort of mix of everything across the week. You're doing independent work and you're resting and socialising. Alright, that is all I have to say about the calendars, so let's go through a quick summary of this video. Number 1, work time, play time, rest time. Number 2, 168 hours is more than enough. Number 3, you need to brain dump. 4, categorise. 5, get specific. 6, deadlines. 7, estimate how long each goal will take. 8, put it in your calendar considering your individual strengths and needs. And 9, schedule rest time. Okay, that's all I have for this video. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, bye!